For news beyond the game, it's Frontier News.
This is going to be a very abbreviated Frontier News. Right off the bat, we're going to say patch and change and maintenance. Yes, there was a big patch. The patch notes are in the show notes. Go check it out. In addition to that, there was, of course, the roadmap. It'll be in the show notes. Check it out. In addition to that, there were 2 streams. They weren't worth watching. Don't check them out. In addition to that, there was Galnet News and community goals. Roy, take it away.
So June 1st, 2 articles. First one, Jupiter Division inspires corporatist movements. And then Aegis Megaship prepares to escape the Thargoids. That had a bad outcome. Then we skip to June 3rd. Number 1, Core Dynamics engages Jupiter Division in battle. That's going to lead to a CG. The second one, the Tritium Mining Campaign boosts Alliance expansion. This is what you mentioned, Kai, about the 2 starports, LHS 2522 and Sharu Sector FWWC 119. And then finally, June 4th, Aegis Megaship vanishes in hyperspace. My goodness, what could hyperdict a megaship? That's interesting. And that was the news. After that, community goals, we had the one finished up, obviously, for Mahan's expansion, and then the 2 that are ongoing. As mentioned, you can fight for Jupiter Division or for Core Dynamics for the reward of credits. So I guess have fun with that.
So we're going to jump to the next topic, which is story threads, loose ends. Oh my God, are there a lot of story threads that are going on right now? We've got, the Alexander that just sort of jumped and went missing. This just happened this week. Like, okay, what's the deal with that? We got the Thargoid stuff. Like they come, they attack, they disappear for a year, they come back, they attack for a week, they disappear for 6 months, they come back and attacking now. Like, is this story gonna progress? Is it gonna go somewhere? I would like it to go somewhere. We've got Salvation, this crazy scientist guy or gal that could be a robot. It could be an AI that, Project Thunderchild, or it could be Palin in, disguise, or it could be, somebody like, you've got the Marlinist storyline. What is this going to go? Is that going to go somewhere? You got the Neo Marlinist terrorist. Is that, going to go somewhere? Theta 7. You've got Sirius that they did their whole, we're going to terraform these ammonia worlds. And they're like, it's not working as fast as we thought. Okay, but it's still, you're doing stuff. You're out there poking that Thargoid bear. Is something going to come from that story? You've got the whole Jasmina Halsey that seems to be back to like, challenge against President Trump or Zach Hudson, whatever. Is that, going to go somewhere? Is that, it's like, I felt like Jupiter was the patsy, but it was very, very clear from that Admiral, what's his name, that went to life in prison for rolling over and giving evidence or whatever, that it's like, yeah, it was clearly that he was doing it for his buddies, Zach Hudson, who's still president. Like, can we please do something with that story? Jupiter Core, that whole thing, it's sort of a CG this week, but like, is it even really? Like, Aegis doing AX weapons. Okay. The Adamastor and the Hesperus. The Fednex, they've got Big Brother now. They're watching you. They're doing, I off the top of my dome, I can go to 20 different big stories that are happening or have been happening. And yet, like, big salute to Frontier for starting all these story threads. But bigger salute would be coming if you could actually make some of them meaningful and go somewhere. Like, actually do something. Tweaked, get in on this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And more than just, can the stories go somewhere? Can we have some kind of a story, something that actually affects the galaxy that we play in, that has some of change in the galaxy, does something that I can interact with as a player? I haven't seen one yet that has done anything in the galaxy. What FDev is really good at so far, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Elite Dangerous up to this point. But what I'm tired of is this content that FDev makes that you can absolutely ignore, like the Thargoids. You can ignore them until your face turns blue. You can ignore them forever, never even know they're there if you wanted to. And all these stories are the same way. They don't result in anything that affects you in the bubble that doesn't affect you if you don't go looking for it. And I would love some kind of exciting gameplay that came from one of these stories.
Roy.
I agree with that. I think I could see how it might be a bit conflicting for FDev and whoever's trying to decide where to move some of these stories. For one, how to balance this versus the fact that if any of these were supposed to tie into Odyssey content, obviously console players can't participate. So that would be bad, if you wanted to make some big thing that now they're left out of. And in a similar way, depending on how big of a problem you think the state of the current game is, how do you make a big move? And I think we were all expecting that some of these stories would somehow result in some quote-unquote big moves, whether it's something big with the Thargoids or, I don't know, something else, new ships or whatever. How do you make those big moves without drawing criticism? And it's not a valid argument, but that never stopped anybody. The more energy you put into those things while something's burning over here, that's not a good look either. So I could see how, yes, I agree, all these things need to be pursued, and I could see how they're conflicted about it, and maybe it's, analysis paralysis.
And just, yes, to comment or echo something I'm seeing in the chat here, the Falling Station. We had a community manager even say, yeah, that was a thing. It's not a bug. It was supposed to happen, but then we put it on hold. But, okay, that's fine. That's fair. I'm waiting.